Do you?
You want to go?
You can go first.
You babe.
No, you can start it.
I can start it, really?
You can start
I
it.
get the honors
Yeah.
today?
Yeah.
You guys, welcome.
Welcome to the Freddie and Alyssa show. As you can see, the boredom hasn't set in or anything. First day of quarantine. Well, officially.
Officially. We've been quarantined since, Friday?
I mean, we've been going to the grocery store, which we're still going to do, but now it's like official with everything closing down.
Shut down.
Which that's what we're going to talk about today is just what we're going to do for the quarantine. And also we've accumulated a lot of information. We've done some research on it. And we just kind of want to inform you, keep you up to date, and give you our take on it. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know when we have a new episode up, because our scheduling, we just put them up whenever. So we don't want you to miss. I almost coughed. People are probably going to turn it off. They're like, wait a minute.
It's the perfect segue,
It's a perfect segue. I got to take some water real quick.
Guys, today's episode is brought to you by Beekeepers Naturals. What I have right here is the Propolis throat spray, which we've been using, and it is the perfect time for it.
Helps with immunity. There's other products, too, for energy. That's a really, really great product. I'd actually demonstrate it, but I already took my 4 sprays today.
I know, I did, too. Yeah, you take 4 sprays, and it helps, obviously, with immunity, if you're feeling scratchy throat, any of that jazz.
It's really good. Yeah. Go to beekeepersnaturals.com. They've been a friend of the podcast for months now. We really appreciate them. And they have this little slogan about upgrading your medicine cabinet.
Yes.
They take pride in their products. So check out their website, beekeepersnaturals.com. And our code is Freddie. Yeah, use Freddie Alyssa. It's one word, Freddie Alyssa, and you will get 15% off. So this way you can try some of their products and keep yourself, give you the extra defense,
healthy and happy,
and it'll be really good, because those are, and this is what's really interesting too about the symptoms that I think are really important for people to know with the coronavirus, is that it's the fever, it's a dry cough, and then sometimes shortness of breath. Mm-hmm. So the importance of that is that if you have a runny nose or a sniffly nose or itchy eyes or a scratchy throat or a sore throat, mm-hmm. that could be, and most likely is, just allergies or a common cold or maybe the actual flu, but not the coronavirus.
Right.
So you can kind of judge based on your symptoms. Also, they're saying it's a very, very low percent of the people who have coronavirus, mm-hmm. that you aren't really nauseous or vomiting or having things come out the other end. It's a very, very low percentage. That's more of the actual flu. So just kind of do some research on the symptoms so that you can keep you and your family safe, and you know that if one of those symptoms occur, you'll know what to do.
Yeah.
And I think what's your opinion on this whole, like, officially, like, we're not by law not allowed to leave.
Yeah.
But we basically are voluntarily quarantining ourselves here.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great idea, because you want to get ahead of this before it's an even bigger issue, which is already bigger than it should be, of course. But in the United States, we just really want to take these next 2 weeks and make sure that you're not out, at bars and spreading it. Because the hardest thing about this virus is that people don't understand you might not see your symptoms for up to 10 days.
Yeah.
So you can be out and about feeling amazing, and you're spreading it to everyone else.
Yes.
So the fact that, I think here it's obviously all entertainment's closed down. Restaurants, it's takeout only. They don't want people near each other in groups. Obviously, grocery stores and pharmacies will continue to stay open, but everything's shut down.
Movie theaters, gyms, bowling alleys, bars, restaurants.
As they should be, though, because people are there, and you touch things and you spread all of your germs, and you might have it.
Yeah.
And it's not about, as they always say, a healthy younger individual who gets it and they have to deal with it. Of course, it's awful, but it's about spreading that without knowing you have it to someone who's at higher risk.
Yes.
So you just have to really be cautious, and I think that's what we've been doing too. I mean, we've been really, really careful. We're self-quarantining.
We just want to do our part.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not worried that if we were, God forbid, to get it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to affect us in a negative way. We'll be sick, like, it will suck.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to do my part. Because if we do have it and we go to the grocery store and I touch something and then someone touches it and then goes sees their 89-year-old grandmother,
exactly.
like if everyone just comes together as a country and as a people, we can eradicate this. And essentially, I think many of you might have seen the graph, but what they're doing in this 2 weeks is to allow this incubation period from 4 to 10 days that people don't have symptoms. So even us, we went to a restaurant last Thursday. This is only 5 days later. If we picked it up on that restaurant, we still might see symptoms 5 days from now, but we're good. So we would go to the gym and do all this stuff, but you could be spreading it. And what they're basically doing is, hypothetically, if 1 million people in 2020 are going to get coronavirus in the United States, 1 million people getting it on St. Patrick's Day and everyone having to go to the hospital at once, there's not enough ventilators, there's not enough people to help. So what they're doing is by having a self-quarantine early, it'll slow the spread down so that if 1 million people inevitably are going to get it, they're getting it at different stages so that there's enough room, care, and for everyone. Exactly. So it's gonna really help us as a whole. So I'm all for it. I know that it's going to be extremely tough for people who are losing their jobs because of it. Not losing them, but in some cases probably. I already know that our friend who works at Olive Garden, they've shut down. I mean, everything's shut down. So the servers, the bartenders, the valets. I know that the cooks are still going to have work. And I think the drive-thrus are open. So a lot of people aren't going to lose their jobs, but a lot are. I'm curious if government aid's coming in. I believe it will. They're talking about a stimulus package potentially. So we'll keep our ears to the ground for that.
Yeah.
Of what's going to come next.
It's just crazy too, because even for us, I canceled obviously every appointment that we had this week. We had, new primary doctor we were going to go see. I have my ortho. I have obviously physical therapy, and all of those individuals are still working. And that's so crazy too, because you look at every end and there are people who are working from home, there are people not working at all, stressing the F out about, income, and then there are the people who are still out there who need to work, even at the grocery stores, the doctors, the nurses. And no matter which way you look at it, I really just commend everyone who is out there giving their part and helping and doing what they have to do. Because for me, it was easy for me to call and cancel because I'm like, hey, you just don't know. I want to make sure I don't have anything. I don't want to spread it. I don't want to pick it up and spread it. So it's just kind of crazy when you really look into that, of how many just working parts there is to this. Mm-hmm. I told you too, I read this case in China, and I think it was the 31st person who had coronavirus. She ended up going, I believe it was to church, and she wasn't feeling so well. She went to the hospital because, not because she didn't feel well, because she got in a car accident. And she went to the hospital, and she told them, I also don't feel that great. And they're like, you have the flu. Let's test you for corona. And she's like, no, I'm fine. She left. She went to a buffet after that. Then the next day she went, I believe it was to like another gathering, another church. Then her fever got really, really bad. And she's like, okay, I got to go back. And she finally went back, tested positive, but they were showing that she had come into contact with like hundreds of people. And that's why this is so scary, because all from the 31st person, the 31st case, that hundreds could have led to thousands.
It exponentially grows if it,
So you got to really just look big picture too at all of this and why we're taking these precautions. And I'm all for it. I just want to keep everyone as safe as possible.
Yeah. And also too, there's people who are getting it who are recovering. Like, of course, we're hearing about the worst cases because you need to make sure that people aren't losing their lives. And I know we've already lost like 70 people here, and there's been so many around the world. But there was a gentleman who had it, and he was saying that he had a cough. It lasted for a few days. He had a fever. He wasn't feeling well.
He released the video online.
And he released the video. You can like Google it or YouTube it. But his wife didn't get it.
Yep.
So that's the good news too. Just because someone does have it doesn't mean if you go to the grocery store or you're at a restaurant that you're gonna get it.
Yep.
It's just that precaution. So we'll see what happens with schools. It appears that they're going to be closed for the rest of the year. What's that going to do?
Yeah.
The MLB is postponed. The NBA has been canceled. The NCAA tournaments have been canceled. Fast and Furious has been pushed back a year. productions, the
like
movie.
all you could talk about.
I was waiting.
I know you were.
The movie that, but think about it, these people invested $250 million in these big films, and if they don't have an opening, which they won't, because Hollywood had the lowest, I think, in 20 years of the box office this past weekend, because people aren't going.
I believe that. Yeah.
So it's going to affect the entire economy. It's going to affect everything, and but instead of it, being, I think we need to, be informed about the negative impact,
of course,
and we need to learn from this in the future.
Of course.
I think we got ahead of it really quick. But, at the same time, we all have to make sacrifices. I know that other people are going to have to make way bigger sacrifices than what we had planned.
Yeah.
But I do want to share what we were going to do. But yet again, I'm very aware that this is a champagne problem compared to those who are literally going to be losing their jobs. But I think everyone's going to be affected in a different way. But for us, we actually so we talked about it maybe a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. We were deciding on how we were going to fund the production of our movie trailer.
For
Unplugged. And we decided to do crowdfunding. And we were going to do a photo shoot, which we had planned on Friday, just to have a fun announcement for my birthday. We felt doing it on my birthday, there's a lot of attention on an individual on their birthday. The algorithms really like birthdays, engagements, and babies. So the day we have a baby, we'll have to do something aside because everyone's going to be liking and sharing that. Right. So I like to capitalize on things like birthdays and babies. But so we were gonna do this big thing, release it on my birthday with the podcast, explain everything, help show you how you can get involved and help make this project. But we actually pulled the plug, unplugged, on Friday, just because, and it ended up becoming worse. So I'm glad that we decided let's hold off on it. It doesn't feel right trying to raise money for a business, a project, or anything right now when people are scrambling to figure out their lives. The morale of coming together to do a project when you don't even know when things are going to go back into production or when people can actually get together again just doesn't have that energy of let's do this, right. Because even if we were to raise money during this time, which we aren't going to do, and then we end up quarantined for another 8 weeks, and it's then, you know what I mean? It just wasn't the time. And then we were going to do this 3-day trip for wine tasting in Solvang, which I was so excited about. But we're going to have some frozen food on my birthday.
Ooh, yeah.
And we'll drink. We'll...
I saw Publix. I wish there was a Publix here. They have a toilet paper birthday cake. I was like, that would be so fun. Great for you. But
yeah, we'll have to get a cake. But I don't really know, though, at the same time. I know this isn't good press for the businesses that really need it, but it's just an honest thought. It's you can go get takeout, but you're also, yet again, someone else is cooking your food. Yeah. The whole place is going to, it's...
I know.
I just don't know what to do. So we've been really eating, but I ate for 3 days, all frozen stuff. Yeah. And we needed, yesterday we went to Whole Foods and got some actual fresh fruits and veggies and...
Well, because when we went to Ralph's, what was it, maybe 5 days ago, they had no produce. And we were like, oh, no. So we stocked up at least on...
But I think that was kind of gross to me. Because the produce, I don't think it was sold out. It's just sitting open.
Yeah.
You don't want people touching apples going, oh, this one isn't good, and then people bringing that back. But then I went to Whole Foods yesterday, and it was all open, and they had a salad bar open. I'm absolutely not.
No way, Jose.
No, we got all the stuff that was fresh and packaged. Then we just wiped down the packaging when we got home.
That sandwich was so good.
Yeah, your body craves fresh stuff. I don't know why we did 3 days of frozen without thinking about it. But I opened up a thing and I was like, I can't eat another frozen meal.
I know.
So, but yeah, I don't know why they were doing that. I think everyone's just still getting their bearings.
Everyone's figuring it out. And I know a lot of people are naturally panicking because this is a stressful time. We have nothing to refer to or compare it because we've never gone through this. So I think just, really paying attention to what you're doing. Don't go crazy. You don't need to stock up because that's what causes this chaos.
Yeah.
Get what you need for now.
Point.
And, I do know from a lot of the research, they're restocking everything in the next few days. You're going to be able to find Purell and hand sanitizer in a week back at the grocery store. Just all taking time, stay calm, be positive, help other people. If there's I've seen these sweet, sweet notes that are just kind of all around town. And they're if you're feeling nervous going to the grocery store, because of your age or whatever it might be, underlying health condition, please email me. I'll go get your groceries. And I'm just like, I love that kind of stuff because
Wow.
at this time, you really just got to come together, help one another, and really remember what it's all about. Be kind. It goes such a long way,
Yeah.
especially during crisis, tragedy, just overall chaos. But then also, too, it's kind of crazy because I feel like right now we're forced to have this time at home, which most people would never have.
Yeah,
You
you got to
know?
use it as a gift,
Yeah.
even if it is negative because of maybe
Yeah.
finances. I feel like that's the only reason it would be. I think everybody else, especially if someone can get paid to work from home, it
Oh
kind
my
of seems
gosh.
like you can make it into a positive. Even though this is a negative situation, we can't just dwell in negativity for 8 weeks.
Right.
We can think about what to do, positively.
Yeah.
So if you're someone who's been working their tail off all year and you really need 2 weeks to just catch up on every Netflix show ever made,
Go do
knock
it.
yourself out. If you're feeling creative,
Yeah.
start that book, start that blog, and do some research. Like everything Alyssa and I have accomplished and we've journeyed to and we've tried and we've produced and all of this that we've created, no one's taught us.
Yeah.
Every single thing we've done is we go to YouTube, we go to Google, and we just learn. And then we put it into practice. And then we critique it, we adjust it. So think of it too as just maybe a starting point where you can actually do a lot of research, find something else that you want to do you've been putting off, start getting it into motion so that you can have something fun to do. But just your body will tell you what you want or your
Exactly. Whether it's being creative and taking on that new project you've been wanting, the new like side hustle, whatever it is for so long, do that. If you're really craving a little self-care and self-love time and you want to journal and read and take your bath and clean out the closet, whatever it is, you're going to know. But now is, if you got to think about it, you have the gift of time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Spend that quality time if you're at home with your loved ones and you're able to be there together. Just enjoy it and savor it. If they're far away, FaceTime, to have phone conversations, reconnect, even staying social. Because obviously, we're on social media a ton right now. I think everyone is just very curious. What's the next breaking news? What's happening? And it's good to educate, but it's also good to put your phone away sometimes, put the music on, play some board games, just feel good in the moment. Do those in the house workouts.
Yeah.
The at-home videos or on YouTube, or I saw there's like a push-up challenge today.
Yeah, it's a good thing we're all very creative. I think people are going to come together in this moment.
Yeah.
And all we can do is take day by day. I'm just wishing everyone a safe and healthy quarantine time. And for us too, we want to do some podcasts. We would love to do more. Our only question is that we just didn't want to like overwhelm people where we put out too much where then people are like, well, I can't watch all this. So, but let us know in the comment section. Be super creative. Help us. Like, what do you want us to talk about? Is there a specific topic you want us to research and dig into? Stories of our childhood or questions that you have
Or advice or any sort of thing. You let us know.
Anything you want us to chat about, we will take the ideas and it'll give us topics to really dig into, because we also want to give you updates on everything that's going on, but we also don't want to make it where every podcast is just a 20-minute update of everything. We want to be able to have some fun at the same time of making sure you're informed with imperative information. But we also want to keep the tone of our show happy, positive, educational, inspirational. But there are times like today that I felt information needed to be shared. We're all going through this together, and we're all connected even though we're socially distant.
Yes. And I also want to hear, guys, too, what is everyone doing to keep themselves busy and occupied at home? I'm just so curious of the different activities, the different things, how you're feeling. I mean, this is a new situation for all of us, so I'm just really curious. And if you guys have any suggestions on ways Freddie and I can celebrate his little birthday, I want to make it special. I just don't know what to do at home.
Yeah.
What do we do?
I don't
We already
know.
played board games on Friday.
I think we got to do something with the whole community or something.
Maybe we'll go live.
The only thing I don't like about going live, and we have to research this, I don't know if we have the equipment where you have to go live on a webcam and the quality isn't good for playback. So
That's true too.
I just don't know, but We'll think of something, but let us know. Comment below, and let's just go through this together over the next 2 to 8 weeks.
Yes.
We're gonna do a bunch of podcasts, and we're really doing our best to try to look at all the comments and really build these relationships with all of you. So we appreciate your comments very, very much. We appreciate your time, and until next time, stay safe and healthy, everyone.